Again, the traditional great offices of state in Britain are Prime Minister, Foreign Secretary, Home Secretary, and Chancellor of the Exchequer. Until 20 years ago, these had all, with one exception, been held by white men. 200 years or so, every single post had been held by a white man, with the exception, of course, of Margaret Thatcher as Prime Minister. That has, of course, all changed now. There is all the difference in the world between appointing people to jobs because they are the best for the post, regardless of sex or skin colour, on the one hand, and the giving of those posts to people because they are women, Muslim, or black. The first of these situations is one which I venture to suggest almost all of us support, while the second is a disaster waiting to happen. One need only look at the performance of David Lammy on Wednesday when he was standing in for the Prime Minister at the Prime Minister's questions time to see the difference between these two very different arrangements, or the way in which the Chancellor of the Exchequer is handling the nation's financial affairs. To give another instance, there can be no doubt, for example, that Margaret Thatcher reached her position as first leader of the opposition and later Prime Minister simply by being more clever and cunning and ruthless than any of those around her. Remember that she qualified as both an industrial chemist and also a barrister before even going into politics. Rachel Reeves, on the other hand, was chosen for her novelty value because Keir Starmer thought it would be a great idea to appoint the first female Chancellor of the Exchequer in British history. That she was inept, dishonest, and incapable didn't enter into the matter. It was purely for show. This was the same motive which caused him to appoint a buffoon like David Lammy as the country's first black foreign secretary and first black person to hold one of the great offices of state. Although manifestly unfitted for such a role, as with Rachel Reeves, the optics were fantastic. What this means is that some years ago it was decided, by whom I could not say, that a woman must always be Home Secretary to make up for all those years when men held the post. This means that half the MPs in the House of Commons are automatically excluded from holding the post of Home Secretary by reason of their sex. I wonder if anybody thinks that this sounds like sexism. Does anybody watching this really think that women were given 3 out of the 4 great offices of state in the present administration because they were so eminently and clearly better qualified to hold those posts than any men? Or do they think that this too is sexism? Does anybody watching this really think that David Lammy was given the role of Foreign Secretary and then Lord Chancellor because of his talent, because Keir Starmer felt he needed a black person on the front bench and Lammy was the only one available? We call it, boys and girls, when we discriminate against some people and in favour of others, basing this purely upon skin colour. There's a word for that practice. The present leader of the country is both sexist and racist, but because he says he's a socialist, many people are happy to overlook this fact. I'm happy to be proved wrong about this, but that's what it looks like to me.